Oh, hello everybody, and welcome to the Just Enough Heshy Show. Wow. Okay, let me introduce my co-host who just walked in, Neil, everyone's voice of reason. I haven't seen you in forever.
Hi, how are you?
How's it going?
Oh, great.
And then, of course, we have the main guy, Uncle Heshy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Just Enough Heshy show. And I'm going to, during the show, Neil and Esther, I'm going to make an announcement, and we're going to talk about that a little bit on the well. But I want to introduce you, Esther, beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous Esther. And yesterday you looked, Neil, you didn't see her, but she looked beautiful.
No, I was on there listening on the radio.
And,
I was a policeman.
and she went to the.
I heard. Did you go to the party?
I did. And it was great. It was a lot of fun.
She hung out with me a little bit for about an hour after the show, and then she went to. Then I dropped off at the party, and she looked great. But she was the only one dressed up last night.
No, there was like
She
four
said she would
people.
leave if other people aren't
But she didn't leave. The boys were hot.
Okay, no, there was like 3 other people maybe dressed up, but I would not go to that party if I wasn't wearing it because there's just no point. The only point of a party is a costume, right?
Anyways, everybody, I want to start my show, and I hope you actually listen to this quote because this is something that I saw and something that I'm feeling right now, and I want you all to feel it with me. And when you hear what I have to say, and you're all good audiences and all good, I'm happy that we built a beautiful listener base and we did so well. But I'm going to be telling you something a little bit. And first, I want to tell you. Something that I actually feel.
You can't control.
I can't control myself. I'm sorry. True happiness. Okay, everybody, this is about true happiness.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm hoping that this works for me. Okay.
Okay.
True happiness is to enjoy the present without without being anxious, dependence upon the future. Not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing. The greatest blessing of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not.
That's stupid.
Why?
I'm sorry. The only point of life is hope. If you don't have hope, you're content
No,
with where you
it
are,
can't.
you can't move forward.
It's not being
No,
content.
no. You can move forward, but you're at the right place at the right time right now.
But right now, it's present. Even though you have bad things or good things, true happiness is to accept your plight, even if you're
See,
depressed.
this is why I've never gone after happiness, because I will never be happy, because I'll always think I should be doing more, I should be getting further, because just limbo and doing nothing like specifically great, not worth it.
Well, anyways, I want to tell you a little story, Esty.
Go for
Okay,
it.
and this story I posted on Facebook, and I want to tell you there was a young man in the Jewish religion. These young men after school they have to get married young, Neil, right? 23, 24.
You don't have to.
It's a
Okay,
sickness
but
that they
it's-
do.
So this young man was already 25 years old, 26.
Oh my God!
And he was getting pressure. And he
He's
wasn't.
an old man.
One minute, it's his true story. He couldn't get married. He went out on a lot of dates.
Mhm.
And the reason why he didn't get married that he thought was he had a big scar on his face, a big
Mhm.
scar, ugly scar. And what happened is that he went on date after date. And even though the girl didn't say that it was the scar, but he knew exactly what was going on. And he went to his rabbi, his holy man.
Always the man to go.
And he went to me, he says, listen, Rabbi. And I also thought it was a joke that he's going to the rabbi, but the rabbi gave him sound advice. He went to the rabbi, he says, listen, Rabbi, they don't accept me for who I am. Look at my face. I'm damaged. I'm no good.
What? Scars are sexy, no?
So but this was a bad one on the face.
Okay.
A very, very bad one, deforming it.
Okay.
So he sits over there and the rabbi says, listen to me, the next girl you go out with, go to the date, right away begin the conversation and tell her the story and how you got the scar. Tell her about it. Discuss it. Talk to her about it.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Rabbi, I'm embarrassed to talk about the story because it's not that I'm embarrassed to what happened. It was something that happened that I did good, but it bothers me. I am traumatized by it. He says, you've got to talk about it. Okay. The boy gets shut up on a date a couple of weeks later, and he checks the girl out this time. He wanted to see if this girl is a good girl,
Mm-hmm.
if she has kindness in her heart. and just to see if maybe she'd be understanding. And he asked around about her, and he found out that this kid is a good one. She was special. She was
Good people.
not good people, but she was. Everybody said that she was kind. She helped. She understood. She was a good, very good person. And he was hoping and praying in his heart that maybe she wasn't pretty as well. If she wasn't pretty, maybe she would understand. She would understand him. Being not so pretty would
Aw.
be good. And he wasn't looking for a beautiful girl. He goes in his car, he goes to her house, he picks her up, she opens the door. Wow. I mean, not this girl wasn't just beautiful. She was, they say,
It's like Beauty and the Beast all over again.
right. And he was ready right as she opened the door. He was depressed. He says, oh my gosh, it's not going to work. He knew in his head it wasn't going to work. This is the way he tells the story. He goes into the house, he talks to her, and he says, listen, before we go out, I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you something, and I want you to look at me. And she looks at him. He said, I want to tell you what happened to me on this car. I know you're looking at me in a very
Negative.
negative way. She says, no, no. He says, no, please. I know the deal. You know the way it is. Human beings looking at another person. It's the outside first impressions. He says, listen to me. I was in Israel and I was walking down the street and I saw two Arab men grab a young girl and they started to do something to her. I quickly ran over and I started fighting with them. One of them ran away and the other one stood there. And I grabbed him and started fighting with him and holding him till the police came. And the girl quickly ran away, made her run away. It was dark, it was night. It was an old city, dangerous. And he says, as I was holding him and fighting with him, I was doing great. I'm a big, tough guy. He says, the police came, and as I let him go out, he grabbed the knife out of his pocket and stabbed me in the face.
Wow.
Not only did I almost die, he scarred up my face. He says, many operations later and many years later, it healed up, but look at me. This is what happened to me. He says, this is the truth. He says, before we go out, if this bothers you, and I know that it might bother you, be honest with me. Let's not waste our time. I was told to tell it to you, and I'm going to tell you the true story. And the girl sits back in a chair, and she starts to cry. She says,
Why are women always crying in these
and
stories?
she starts to cry. She actually cries. And she says, I want to tell you a story. She says, I was walking in the Arab neighborhood, in the old city, in the thing, and I was attacked by two Arab men. And a young man came to help me. And as he
Aw.
helped me, I was running away, and the police came. I saw it. And I never knew who saved my life.
That's so nice. I feel like I knew the story though.
I know, it's a step, but this is a
Yeah.
story being told by the young man. And she says, I can't believe that it's you. I've been looking for you all my life. Thank you. Thank you for saving me. That's why I'm here today.
Well, you know what? I'll marry you.
And
Yeah, I'll do your favor.
they married.
I'll do you a favor. I'll marry you. You
They
saved me. One good turn
And the
deserves
end of
another.
the story is they married, and they've been married for many, many years with
They lived
beautiful,
happily
with
ever
gorgeous,
after.
beautiful children. Right. So this is it. You sometimes, even though things happen bad to you,
Why does this never happen to me?
you have to accept your
Sorry,
fate.
that's not what I meant.
Yes, you have bad days, you have tough days, but you're living in the present and get done what you're supposed to get done. So that is my story for tonight, everybody. And I hope that it touched your soul. And in case
You have a soul.
you have soul. So Neil, I want to tell you and Esty something that tonight I had some personal issues that happened over the last couple of days and weeks, whatever, personal family things. And I've been trying to juggle the jobs and the radio show, and it's getting very difficult. So, and me and the family sat down over the last few days, and as of last night, we sat down, and I have a lot of personal issues that I must handle, not on myself, but I have to take care of it, and it's a responsibility that is I think so. I'm going to need to take some time off. So tonight, my dear friends, my listeners who've been so honorable, who've been listening to us, who've been loyal, and who've laughed with us and enjoyed some of the shows. And
Did anybody cry with us?
I don't know, cry, but I've made some of you irritated, and I've rambled on some meaningless stories or whatever it is. But thank you. We grew a beautiful listener base, and I'm so proud of what we've accomplished here. And I was hoping one day maybe to run for office and have all of you people stand behind me or not behind me or scream at me. I appreciate everything out there to you people. I thank you. And yes, I accept my fate in life, and I accept true happiness. I am a happy man. It might be a little depressing right now. I had a friend that passed away. I said on the other show over the weekend. I had another young girl that I knew very well, 40-something years old, passed away
People
just
are dying
today.
left and
It's
right.
not that it happens all the time, but it affects you. and I've been affected. That's not the reason why I'm leaving, but I have a lot of other personal issues that I have to handle. And I thank you all for being honorable, and I thank you for listening. And I hope you enjoy and call in. And if not, to the last Just Enough Heshy show for now. Thank you, everybody. And SD, in the meantime, even though it's not paying for the show, who do we owe for putting us on the air for now?
So yeah,
And make sure that the Schleppers guys know that we love them.
they will. We have Shlomo Schleppers. If you need people to help you do almost anything, you have Shlomo Schleppers. They do mowing, painting, insulation, sheetrock, weed removal, planting, heavy lifting, snow shoveling, anything you don't have like young boys to help you with. These guys can help you with, well, anything that your son, grandson, or people that you need. Either way, you can call them at 1-877-745-3779. Shlomo Schleppers. You can go to their website at shlomoschleppers.com, Schleppers with a Z. We have Mr. Clean's Dry Cleaning. They do free pickup and delivery. If you mention the Just Enough Heshy Show, you get 25% off. You can reach him at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com or call him at 347-369-3051. We have Greenline Building Solutions. They do asbestos and lead inspection, DOB, HPD, code compliance. They lift stop work orders, and they do free consultation. You can reach them at 718-871-0382. This is the Just Enough Heshy Show. You want to email anything to us, or
we'll always be taking your emails. The email will always be up for now. I mean, for a long time.
Our Facebook,
and you'll be able to watch some of our old shows, and
on
we'll see
YouTube.
how, and we'll see over the next couple of weeks or months go. And again, everybody, thank you again. And Neil, you 30-something years under our belts together, and you just there today. You were screaming at me and hollering at me, you better come here and I'm gonna help you. And Neil is just my voice of reason, not only on the show but in person. And he's always there for me. He doesn't
I wish
care.
he was my best friend.
He texted me the combination to his house, says, you go over there right now. I don't even want to know. And I love you, Neil. You are a good, forget that you're my friend. You're a good man. You've helped a lot of people. People don't know the kindness and the advice you give to people.
Because they think I'm callous.
Not callous.
Because they think that I don't care because I'm very to the point.
Yes.
Right.
And I am the guy who...
In other words, what do you want from a guy who has an illness that costs $10,000 a week for his medicine? What do you want? Okay.
And my son tells me that I should be more like you, but not in your version of stuff, but to be more on the right instead of the left, and not to be wishy-washy in different subjects. And I said to my son today, I said, listen to me, the reason why I do change sides is because people have good ideas. And some people, sometimes to the right is correct, sometimes to the left is correct. Sometimes people, I believe Hillary's good. But you're right, guys. Hillary could be beaten by Rubio. I like him. Yes, Jeb Bush is an experienced politician as well. Governor, family.
Why is he having such a hard time?
I don't know, but who are presidents? Senator Ted Cruz. I don't really like Trump, but again, the man is 60-something years old. He's smart. He's made billions of dollars. He's given lots of charities.
I just saw a clip where it's like they show Donald Trump like, I started off small. My father just gave me a small loan of $1 million. And you see this black guy with a bunch of change, and he's like looking through pennies and dimes, and you hear again, I started off with only $1 million, and he's looking at his change again. He's like, what? Like, oh, a small amount.
I was watching a fake debate when all the politicians were arguing the GOP debate, and all of a sudden they freeze to Trump, and Trump picks up a gun and shoots it in the air, and everybody shuts up. You know what I mean? So Trump is basically in charge. But even though today's polls show that Carson is way ahead of Trump right now for the first time, Carson is actually way ahead of Trump. And again, I have no problem.
A funny guy. He's a very religious guy.
Not only religious, but he's very easygoing, and that's a problem, because I believe that even though he has a lot of good ideas, I believe when it comes times to make decisions, he's going to be very hesitant. He's going to ask 50 million different ideas, and it's going to take him forever to get anything passed.
I don't like that he's in charge of everything. I feel like he could be in charge of running the country. Trump can maybe deal with the Arabs, because then he could be all like, I'm not taking no crap from you guys. And Carson will kind of be touchy and sort of. I want separate presidents for these things.
Carson is never going to take Trump as a vice president, but Trump might take Carson as a vice president.
So then I'd rather that, because I don't like the way Ben Carson will probably deal with Arab countries. He's probably going to be very touchy-feely nice about it. Well, Trump will be like, excuse me, are you kidding me?
To be touchy nice.
No? But come on, you're going to compare him to...
Very
Trump won't take crap from nobody. Carson He'll probably take a little bit more crap. I mean,
I don't think Trump realizes that as president, sometimes you just got to take some crap, whether you like it or not, to get things done.
I don't think he realizes what it takes to be president altogether. I feel like it's more of a show for him.
Right.
Well, actually, nobody can know what it's like to actually be president. Does he have any political experience?
Yeah. He gave them a lot of money.
That's not.
That's his political experience. Hey,
anyways,
he got things done that way.
Got things done. Anyways,
he admits it.
Can I tell you?
What about Ben Carson? Also not, right?
Can I
even worse than Trump?
So I want to tell you a little story, a little joke. Okay, it's gonna be my last joke. So I want you to hear my joke. Ready, Esty?
Mm-hmm.
Esty.
I'm ready.
Okay. A big city lawyer went duck hunting in rural North Waripo, I don't know, whatever. He shot and dropped a bird. It means a bird fell down, but it fell into a farmer's field on the other side of a fence. As the lawyer climbed over the fence, an elderly farmer drove up on his tractor and asked him what he's doing. So the lawyer responded, I shot the duck and it fell in this field, and now I'm going to retrieve it. The old farmer said, wait a minute, this is my property. You're not coming over here. So the lawyer said, I'm one of the best trial attorneys in the whole country. And if you don't let me get that duck, I'll sue you and take everything you own. So the farmer smiled and said, apparently you don't know how we settle disputes in this little town. We settle small disagreements like this with the 3-kick rule. Okay. The lawyer asked, what is the 3-kick rule? The farmer replied, well, because the dispute occurred on my land, okay, I get to go first. I kick you 3 times, and then you kick me 3 times. And so on back and forth until somebody gives up. The attorney quickly thought about the proposed contest and decided that he could easily take this old codger, as he called him, and he agreed to abide by the local custom.
Okay, I feel like I know what it is. Okay, go on.
So the old farmer slowly climbed down his tractor and up to the attorney. And he planted his first kick with his toe, with his heavy steel boots, and into the lawyer's groin and dropped him to his knees. His second kick kicked him in his stomach, and the last meal that the lawyer ate came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
The lawyer was on all four, hands and knees, and the farmer's third kick into his rear end sent him face first into a fresh pile of cow dung.
Okay.
The lawyer summoned every bit of his will and his strength to get up, and he slowly managed to get to his feet. Wiping his face with his arm and his jacket, he says, okay, you old fart, now it's my turn. The old farmer smiled and says, nah, I give up. You can have the duck.
So basically, you just wanted to get to kick him.
Right. Don't be.
I thought it was gonna go a different way. Like, basically, the lawyer would the farmer would be like, okay, you kick first. The lawyer would kick him, and then he'd be able to sue him for kicking him, and he wouldn't get the duck.
No, but once you make an agreement that this is the way you're going to settle it, you're going to settle it, like in the boxing match or whatever. So, anyways, everybody, that is our show.
That was cute. Should we take Ralph?
Yes, we have Ralph on the show tonight. He's here to say goodbye to us as well.
So yeah, you guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. You can call us at 718-303-9090. Hello, Ralph. What's up?
Ralph.
Hi, SD. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Okay, Ralph. How are you, my brother?
Well, I'm doing great. Can I talk? Can I talk you out of leaving, or is it definite?
You can always talk me out of leaving, but for now, I need. I don't think so, Ralph. Right now, we're saying goodbye to our families and friends who listen to us, because I consider my friends out there, no matter what, who you are, what race, what religion, what sex, what God you believe in, and I feel bad, but these sometimes, Ralph, some things come up and it's unavoidable, and even though I'm a smart man and I think I can take on the whole world, and I always say I'm an angel, but I do have family, and sometimes the family, you have to make a deal, and it was time. I wish I would continue. I love this show. I love continuing on over here. I don't want to feel like a father to be kicked down, but Ralph, I love you, and you are my inspiration. You were one of my first listeners, and you gave us inspiration to continue.
That's true.
Well, you've gotten a family of listeners out there who really love you, and I'm sure you have to do what you have to do, and everyone understands. But we'll miss you, but I'm sure you'll be back. You'll resurface somewhere along the line, I'm sure. And Neil and Esty and the three of you will do something, I'm sure.
I love you, Ralph.
Right along the shoreline.
And well, you're talking election tonight. As of right now, what would you say? Who would you say would be the front runner right now? If the election were held tonight, who would you say would come up victorious?
So I've been doing a lot of reading on that just today alone, and a lot of research, because I've been blabbing and people have been screaming at me, especially the Russian community, Ralph. Hillary's no good. Hillary's bad. We're never going to vote for her. And as I was doing a lot of the research and a lot of tweets and a lot of different blogs that I was looking at, people actually really like Carson, which I don't even know why. If it was me that had to pick a president tomorrow morning, I really, be honest with you, I really like Hillary because of her experience. I think that we need somebody to be trusted with the reins, even though you don't like her and she's done bad things, but she's the only one that can get legislation approved. I don't think Ben Carson.
What kind of legislation?
There's going to be that is thousands and thousands of
but you're not going to be happy with her legislation.
I got you, but she's going to at least get stuff through that the Congress and the Senate wants. When Carson is going to get nothing through. Do you know that Obama is one of the presidents that pushed through one of the most legislation ever in this country? I believe that Carson is not going to be able to do it. I believe Hillary will be able to. She'll be able to twist arms and push her way around. But you're right. She might just tax us higher and hurt us more. But the Democratic debates are coming up, and before you make a judgment call, listen to her. But you're right. If the election was held right now, because we don't hear from Hillary too much, only a couple of her shows, the truth of the matter is the only person that I respect, not that I even like some of his ideas, but respect that is trying, is Ben Carson.
But Ben Carson is a flash in the pan. I know people don't see it right now. He's such an oddball on some of the issues. I mean, the guy's talking about the Garden of Eden and Adam and Eve and abortion, no abortion, no matter what the circumstances are. When the smoke clears and we get to 2016, guys, I don't see Ben Carson or Donald Trump being around. No, I don't. And Neil, you know what you're going to see, Neil? You're going to see the establishment come through again. You're going to see a Rubio. You're going to see on that side of the aisle. You're going to see a Rubio. You're probably going to see Jeb Bush. I still think he has an outside chance. When it comes down to it, an outsider just won't.
Right.
Won't do it.
We'll see if Jeb can raise some of the money. Ralph, we want to take a phone call. Stay tuned.
Sure.
Let's take a phone call over here. Let's see. Line 4. You're on the air with Ralph, Heshy, Neil, and Esty. How are you?
Hey, and so. I'm not happy about you not being on the air. I just got back from upstate New York, Buffalo, where I grew up, and I have residence, and I'm there some of the time. But I was there for 2 months, and I come back. I'm listening to you now, and I'm saying, I'm going to have my Heshy in my program again. I don't know how to stream nothing, so I had to come back here. Now I listen and I hear, and I don't want to hear.
Oh,
sorry.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the call.
God, I look so forward. I enjoy it so much. Oh,
I appreciate it. You're a nice man.
I mean, you could always try YouTube or get someone.
No, we'll be around. Ralph will always invite us to show. We'll see. It's just going to be for a little while. We have to see. Everybody goes through personal trials and tribulations.
Take a break.
And I thank you again for being. And I appreciate the phone call.
It's not you. Nice. It's us.
Oh man.
Have a good night, my friend.
Okay.
Bye bye. Anyways, Ralph, that was a cool call. He's a nice man.
You have people pining away. You have people pining away for you already.
I can't believe it. I'm not in shock. I just
they're in mourning.
No, but I know. I know the people out there are good people. People love other people, and you need it. Even though we were very controversial, and Neil was against God a lot.
I'm against God. Against people, what they do to God.
Right, how they use God
and how they perceive him.
Right.
Basically, they use him for their own ends.
Mm-hmm.
I got it. I told you, I sway right now is going through a time, and again, I questioned my God again the last couple of days, and I sat back. I said, what am I questioning him for? This is what I have to go through. These are the tribulations that I must deal with, and it's not his fault, and it's not his responsibility. Right, Ralph?
Yeah, well, this, you have to do what you have to do. Timing is everything in this life, and that's the way it goes.
That's why he calls me Ralph.
That's
why he calls me after God leaves him. He comes
but
to
you
me.
know what, Neil?
But Neil, how do you feel about it, Neil? Heshy, how do you feel about the whole situation?
I feel whatever has to be done has to be done. This is real life.
You see, that's Neil, straight to the point. And Ralph, you know what? Every morning you respond to my text. Every morning, Neil. Every morning, my boy Ralph. Every morning responds to my text.
They call me Steady Eddie or Steady Ralphie.
Steady Eddie.
But Neil also responds. He responds in a bad way. You respond in a loving, kind, always a good. Thank you.
Because I'm responding at 2-3 o'clock in the morning when you send them in.
Ralph, I want to take another caller, Ralph. Stay on one more second. Let's take another caller before we keep joking. Hello, you're on the air with Heshy and Neil and Esty, the beautiful Esty.
Hey, how you doing there, Heshy and Ralph and everybody? Hey, listen, and nice words about God there. And it is the real world, as Eddie said there. Hey, I want to talk to you really quick about the election. Hands down, I've said this time and time again. If Trump is the only person out there to me that is an outsider and can beat Hillary, and the only other person would be Bush, even though he's doing terrible, because he would win the South. But these other guys are all going to lose. Ben Carson, nice guy, but boring as anything.
Hey, Chris, yeah. Let me ask you something, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Ben Carson talks, he's the sure cure for insomnia. He'll put you to sleep, and you'll become a narcoleptic. I mean, immediately you'll go to bed, you go to sleep. The guy can't open his mouth and emote. It's
the women are not going to vote for him. Let's face it. The women are not going to vote for him, and most young people are not going to vote for him. But they will go out. Some of them will go vote for Hillary. But Trump, they do like Trump. As crazy as he seems at times, that's why they're attacking him, because Trump is the first guy, the first Republican that could actually win New York or New Jersey.
But Chris, forget about Chris, forget about winning. Do you believe he can do the job?
Oh, hands down. And I definitely think he can. And he's the only one that talks business, at least. And also, they had that very funny joke that Obama said very well, by the way. Somebody wrote from about, if you can't even handle MSNBC, how are you going to handle Putin and China? But I want to say, well, he's done a terrible job handling. Putin's walking all over him, so I think Trump will do much better than they're doing, Mr. Heshy.
Hey, Chris, in the real world, when Trump has to solve real problems, when he can't use platitudes and slogans and stupid sayings, and we're gonna be spectacular, and we're gonna bring America back. All these feel good statements. When it comes down to it, and he has to start some real policy, and he has no experience whatsoever other than bossing everyone around. What's going to happen, Chris? What's going to happen to the country at that point?
Well, I mean, all you got to do is look what's happened in the country already. Look what's happened in New Atlantic City. All those places, including one of his casinos. But if you don't see Christie or Obama or anybody fixing up Atlantic City or the things that we have, they're not putting anything into technology now. And by the way, Mr. Heshy, I love listening to your program, by the way, and you guys are great, and you're real thinkers. You think out of the box, and I appreciate that, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That was wonderful. You're very nice. Thank you.
I got to tell you, I'm disappointed on how Donald Trump stands when he's at a podium.
Yeah.
He leans on the podium.
You just hit on something, Neil, that's so important. Body language means everything.
Yeah.
If you know who the two leaders are, Chris Christie and Trump. They lean on the podium. That tells me that by the end of the night, they're dying.
They're exhausted.
Yeah, one guy's obese, the other guy's old. I mean, and that's why Rubio, as much as I don't care for him either. And by the way, if I had to bet my house on the matter, I would say Hillary for the next 8 years. I hate to break the news to all you folks out there, but it's true. You're going to get Hillary 2016 forever. And I know SD doesn't care for Hillary.
We are not getting Hillary.
I disagree with you. I believe she'll win the election. She'll get 4 years, but the people will be fed up.
First Obama, then Hillary? Why do we even bother? I'm moving out.
Stop it, SD. Stop it. But again, Ralph, I want to ask you a question.
She is one scary, tough mofo.
Is Hillary competent? Forget that if she's good or not. Is she competent to do the job?
I tell you something. Without personalities getting in the way, the woman has great experience. At least she's held high position. in Washington. She knows what she's doing, because if you
take,
because people want the outsider all the time, guys. And it sounds good and it feels good. It makes people feel good. But I think if you had a Ben Carson presidency, it would be an abject disaster. You'd have a guy up there who would push his religious views on everyone. That's including this Jewish community that I'm talking to right now. Esty, this guy believes in things so out of the box that you wouldn't believe. Because when that happens, when a president pushes his personal views on the public, it's not a good situation.
That is a problem.
This is a great mosaic, this country. This country is not about just religiously extremists. This isn't about these religious zealots who wanted their way or the highway.
Yeah, but Ralph, I'm going to ask you, Ralph. Sorry. This guy Ben Carson, you're right. I also see him on stage. Sometimes he stutters, or he forgets, or he's very slow moving, or he's
comatose.
I got you. But remember one thing about Ben Carson. He is a man that is a neurosurgeon, if I'm correct to say his job. It means he's making decisions while he's working on your brain. Split seconds, and not talking little ones. He's saving people's lives. And here's my thing: when he made that comment, and I didn't really like it, but and I didn't understand it in the beginning, but now I understand it. He was gung-ho. He says, if I would have been in that classroom with that gun, that shooter who shot those kids, remember that story that happened? He shot those kids and he let one of them alive. I would have turned around and attacked him, even though I would have gotten killed. Now, I know people laughed and say, oh, he's a big shot talker, but the man said it. Nobody else said it. He's gung-ho. He's willing to fight back. He's willing not to be to be knocked down even by a murderer. I don't know what would have happened if the gun was there, but the man at least said something that we all actually believe in our hearts that we would want to do.
He came out with the most outrageous statement. In other words, he called those folks for standing there and being cowering and being afraid because this nut job had a gun. he more or less called them cowards. Something, when you're put in that exact position, he said we should charge the gunman. We should run at the gunman. Well, he is nuts. If you're not armed, and that was a weapon-free zone. If you're not armed, you're not going to charge the gunman. You're going to run for cover. You're going to get the heck out of there as fast as possible. And by the way, he cited an incident where he was approached at a McDonald's, a fast food joint, and some gunman stuck a gun in his side, and he said, "No, you don't want me. You want him," pointing to the cashier. So when it came down to it, in his past, he was afraid because, something, I'm not afraid to say I would be afraid if someone sticks a gun in my back. If someone sticks a gun in my back, Hesh, I'm going to give him everything I have. I'm no fool. I'm not going to go to the grave with a few bucks in my pocket. I'd rather hand it over to him,
I agree with you on 100% what you have to say, Ralph. The thing about it is deep in our hearts, when we get hurt or when we get knocked down or we get depressed, we think, hey, could have I done it differently? We're all very pacifist in this country and say, you're right, let's give the money. It's worth another day to live.
I think he was comparing it to that airliner where the passengers got up and
United Airlines, right? United Airlines, not where they crashed. They wouldn't let
Those guys were trained. Those guys were trained guys. They've been through the mills. I'm talking about the normal person.
They were trained?
They
were regular passengers.
No, the one guy, two guys were military guys, Neil, and one guy was a civilian. The other two were military guys. They charged them. They were great. I mean, they were heroes. That's a real hero, by the way. But to say that the ordinary guy should be, naive enough to, charge and run at a guy holding a gun, I think you're setting people up for suicide. You can't do that because, you have to just get, the thing to do. If you're in Times Square and the gunman is around, you're going to run for cover. You're not going to run at the guy unless you're packing heat yourself. I mean, it would be crazy for me to run at a person who's holding a gun that can just pop one off, and that'll be bye-bye Ralphie.
But Ralph, deep in your heart, when somebody would rob you or hurt you, that you think back, like I spoke to a young girl that recently went through a very bad period. She was attacked by a man, and some things happened to her. I don't even want to say the R word, but she went through a time, and I was talking to her and not counseling her, a family friend, and I was crying with her and apologizing to what happened to her. And she says, "Oh, if I only would have fought back, only if I would have done this." I said, "Stop it. You're alive. You're happy.
Regret will kill you.
But that's what we all do. We all have regret. We all think of what would it be if we would have done something different. What would it be? Where would have our path taken us? What would have we done instead of electing Obama, McCain? I don't believe McCain would have done anything better.
Yeah, he would have sucked also.
Right. So did we choose the right path? We chose the path. We want to regret. Hey, you know how many regrets in the 51 years I have, almost 52 years? I cannot list them. I have thousands and thousands of regrets. And I know that if I would have changed one of them, I would have had a different road. And look where I am today. You know, Esty was telling me, oh, Heshy, don't be depressed. I said, I'm not depressed, Esty. I'm a little bit down on certain things that came up, and it's forcing me to make a decision. But this is where I must go. And
you know what I told him? Not everybody has to always be strong and happy and up there. It's okay to sometimes, let someone else shoulder your burdens for you or have people help out. But what I wanted to say about Hillary is she is a great politician. That's why I don't like her. She is like pro at lying and making things up, covering
Ralph,
things up.
I want to take a call, Ralph.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a call. Hello, you're on the air with Heshy, Esty, and Neil. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Let me just get off the right. There we go. Now, what I wanted to say to you first of all, this is Patty, Ralph's friend, and your friend too.
Hello, Patty. How are you?
Hi. Okay. And I'm first of all very, very sad that you all are going off the air. All of you.
For now, Patty. Yes.
Oh
yes.
my God. Ralph is off the air.
Well, I believe
Esty.
I believe Esty's already going to get a job in another station and another
show.
show.
I have to get on the radio, you guys, because you. I mean, really.
Yep. All the good ones are getting off.
But what I wanted to say is, no, there are a lot of times where you have no regrets when things happen, because you know that if you had fought, you would be dead. And
Patty, you're right. You have to pick and choose and be smart about it. You can't just play John Wayne or Clint Eastwood all the time. You have to be smart and pick and choose. You know, somebody held a gun to me. I came out of the gym at about 2:00 in the morning down in Soho, and someone said, "Hey, Superman, do bullets bounce off your chest?" And I turned around, and this cat had a gun on me, and I said, "I'm going to turn around right now. Here's my money." I put my wallet down on the ground, and this is me. I was supposed to be trying to be tough. I said, "I'm going to be smart. I put my wallet down on the ground. I said, I'm going to walk away from you, and everything's going to be okay." I tried to be as calm as possible. I walked away half thinking I was going to get one through my shoulder blades, but everything was okay. He got about $200, but I left the whole scene with my life, and that's what
money matters. That money was worth all the.
Did he get your ID?
And he got everything. Yes, everything. But you know what? I knew that I couldn't win. I knew that if I could be. The Hulk Hogan, and I couldn't beat a guy with a popper, and he's going to pop me.
But Ralph, you're a smart man. A guy like me,
tell my story?
But a guy like me who loses his temper in mid-thing and says, "You know what? I'm going to fight back." I'm a dumbbell. There's a lot of people like me out there. We just lose it, or we have a bad day.
May I tell my story?
Go ahead, Patty. Yes.
Yes. Well, a person broke into my dwelling place a long, long time ago. And I knew what was going to happen. He knew what was going to happen. He told me he needed a place to hide out because he had just committed a robbery, and I was going to be his toy. Now, after that, he said, as I'm laying there under his control, do you want to see my gun? I said, absolutely not. Please, I don't want to see your gun. I said, oh, okay. Because all I'm thinking about is my beautiful guide dog going around and around and around my bed. And if he had shot that dog, I would have become... So the fact that both of us survived that. And the next night, he came back, followed me into the area where I relieved that dog. And I talked and talked and talked to him. And he finally said, why don't we go out for a date? And I said, well, I think I have to think about that for a little while because of what's just happened, but maybe we can. I flew back into my house, called the police. The police were right there, and they picked him up because I recognized his voice, and I won my case. Of course, in fact, he even said finally, "Yes, I did it." The problem was the jury didn't know that he was a serial a toy maker, and that I think is what's wrong. I think juries should be told sometimes about the records of these guys after they've heard the cases or whatever.
Well, Obama just went to Newark, appeared in Newark to promote getting these folks out of jail early.
No, Ralph, he wants to get out federal felons, not rapists or murderers, people who did some drugs, people whose sentences are too high. We have an $80 billion budget for the federal system, and he's letting federal criminals out that really, I know that the Madoff stole, and I know he ruined a lot of lives, and they should be shot.
This guy only got 11 years.
Okay, a rapist should be punished differently. You're right. People with violent crimes.
Rapists, pedophiles, murderers.
Violent crimes, murderers shouldn't be let out. You're correct.
Let me say, I completely agree. I mean, he's doing the right thing. The jails are full of nonviolent offenders doing time sitting there like Buddha in a cell.
There for having a little smoke.
No, Patty, we talk about this all the time, Patty. You're so right. And by the way, what you did that day was a bright and smart and savvy decision. Because
you know why?
You're my Patty. You're my hero, and I wish I could learn from you.
You know why?
Yes.
I did know. I watched everything that happened and remembered everything that happened, and that jury fidgeted in their box because they knew I was telling the truth.
No, Patty, you're wonderful. I love you, and we wish you the best. And
I love you all.
Thank you, Patty.
Love you, Pat.
Ralph, we have to take a call. Yuri, he's been waiting on hold for a while. We're going to take his call.
Good.
Hold on a second. Let's take his call. Yuri, hello. Welcome to the show.
How you guys doing?
Good, Yuri. Good. Sorry, we can't.
We talk every night.
Yes.
So listen, I don't know. I guess the guy's name is Ralph. I kind of disagree with some of the things you said about, like, if somebody gets mugged, or you get a gun pointed in the face, like in something like a classroom, or a movie theater, things like that, when somebody comes in with a shotgun or a gun, tries to shoot everybody, And think about, like what you said, about running away. I know that's our first reaction, to run away. I get it, but you know what? The image comes up into my head is when that jerk that went into that elementary school and shot all those little kids. Those kids could run away. How they're going to fight with them? They don't understand better. They ran away because of the noise and all that. Forget it. But what if it's like it's in your studio? I picture your studio where you guys are. I don't know, a room, about 10 by 12, 10 by 10, whatever, 4 or 5 of you sitting there. And imagine somebody knocks on your door with a gun, and and that moment where you would either face and take that bullet and hope for the best, or charge at him and hopefully have a chance of kind of, putting him on the floor and beat the hell out of him. And there's your chance. That's a better.
Here's more to the point.
Yuri, thank you, Yuri. Thank you, Yuri, for your call.
Yuri, you have to be smart in that situation, Yuri. In other words, you don't act like a hero. You have no chance whatsoever in doing anything about the situation. You have to be smart, because here's if a man has a family, of 5, and he puts himself on the line, when he's doing that, he's putting his entire family in danger, because he won't go home to that family after the circumstance is over. So you have to evaluate the situation, and you don't have time to evaluate when something happens so quickly. So you'd have to make a very split decision, and you just have to hope you do the right thing. But I'm just saying that you're not a coward necessarily if you choose to flee instead of fight, because sometimes you can't fight. It's not possible.
Right. Your pride.
It's the end result that counts. Listen.
Right. Your pride always hurts. Sometimes I get into a disagreement and my partner just drags me away. He says, what are you going to fight? What are you going to lose your temper? And I do argue back, and I do fight back. And I think I can defend a little person. But Ralph, sometimes, especially with the rules today and things that go on, you can get in trouble for nothing. You can get road rage. A guy can come out and blow your head away. somebody could just point a finger at you and say, "Oh, he lied."
They showed an Uber guy on TV.
Yeah.
That picked up a passenger, and I believe he worked for one of the television companies or something. And he was so drunk he couldn't tell the Uber guy directions to where he wanted to go. And so the Uber guy stopped his car. He said, "Get out. You know, that's it. I can't drive all over with you. You know, it's a flat rate, right?" He started beating up the driver.
I heard that.
And they have it on a cam, you know, because the guy had a cam.
Right.
That's it. They arrested the guy, and he lost his job, and this and that.
And you know what, people?
And that's because he was, again, he wasn't a road rage, you know, thing. Right. But that's it. They lose that temper, and that's it. They can't calm down quick enough. Right. You know, it goes too high, too fast.
And I'm telling you out there, people, and I told my son today, get yourself now a dash cam for $60 or $100. Get yourself a little spy cam button in your shirt, and you could use it. You know, today you need evidence to help you. Anybody can make an accusation. Somebody can get you upset. Somebody can hurt you. And all you're going to do is end up losing. People, try to protect yourself. It's not that expensive.
It's like you have the judges today always believe in the cops, no matter what.
Always believe in the
cop.
And the cop. And the whole idea of a cop is just arrest him, take him in, and let him deal with the system. And whatever happens to him, too bad. And, you know, the system beats you 95%
but as they get more and more on camera, you see the cop.
That's true. Every cop's going to have a body camera. And you know, that's the way it's going to be.
It's not only the police.
Yeah, no one's going to want to be a cop anymore.
You're making a mistake. You're blaming the police for violence. The police are not really that violent, and the police don't cause most of the trouble. The problem is when the police are called into a situation, they have no choice but to build up their numbers and to arrest everybody. If you had this cam, you can stop this. You can show your side of the story. They don't have to believe your story. The whole objective of a police officer is to stop the disagreement and arrest you. It's not like this. But even though I believe that the police should figure out, hey, this is not a real crime. This is stupid. I should be out getting the murderers. They're up 350% shootings. I read a story today of a guy in court, a 40-year-old man saying, you know, the 12-year-olds, 3 of them propositioned me. That's why I slept with them. I mean, these are the people they should be going after. Don't worry about a fight in the street. Make peace. Make it go away. But they clog the system with stupid arrests.
Well, let's talk about the cops. Let's talk about the cops, Hesh. How a person like me who does a radio show, once I come out and say something against the cop, I will get backlash like you would never believe. They will be all over me saying Romeo's a cop hater. He hates cops. He doesn't like cops. See, the thing is that a good cop will point out a bad cop. There's a situation that went on in school where that young lady, young black lady, got dragged out of class with her head dragging with a desk on top of her. Anybody that saw that video, and I would challenge any NYPD officer that's listening to us right now that saw that video of this overzealous cop, and I'm being kind, take this girl who was obstinate. I know she was being bitchy, whatever she was being. She would not give up her cell phone. He took the desk, one of those desks that we all know about in school that we've sat on many times, and flipped her with her head upside down, the desk landing on top of her, and dragged her out of the room. It was absolutely despicable. Well, I put that in my program, Hesh, and you know what I got? I got cops calling defending that officer, but then I got some great noble cops calling me saying that was way, way out of line, and this guy should be either dismissed.
Ralph, what would have you done if you were the police officer or the principal? What would have you done? That this girl is disturbing the class. Don't just tell me she was sitting there quietly with the cell phone. They're called on her. I've had cell phone in meetings, in courtrooms, in funeral parlors. If you keep your cell phone quiet and you hide it, you're not going to get in trouble. She was either doing, I'm not saying what she was doing, but she must have done something to upset this teacher.
I didn't say she was quiet. I said that she was obstinate. She was terrible.
Right. She was disturbing the class. What should have he done? Well, I mean, just give me. I know that
it was a deputy specially assigned for those specific kinds of matters. In other words, he's specifically trained to deal with those specific matters. He couldn't handle her, so he has to clear the classroom. Number one, when you have the other students around, it's only going to cause more chaos. He has to clear the classroom, call for backup. If he can't handle that young lady by himself, He calls for 2 or 3 of his comrades. They come in. They talk to her. They say, "You have to relinquish that desk. We're going to cuff you if not." And they get her and they put the cuffs on her and they take her out. You don't turn a 50-pound desk over on a kid's neck where her spine can break, her back can break, and then afterwards you have another Freddie Brown, you have another Michael Brown, you have another a guy that we did in Staten Island, you have another police death at the police hands again.
Ralph,
that's what happened.
Ralph, isn't it amazing that we're talking about something that is already so far gone that they have such police in the schools that they're needed? Isn't that ridiculous on its own?
It's really a shame. It's really a shame. But let me ask you, Neil. Would you like to have a cop stationed in every school? Because that's what we're eventually going to come to. Because the violence in schools it's so terrible that we're going to have cops in every school.
And nothing's going to change because the students keep moving, so you keep getting new ones. And B, it'll become like the prisons. You got your good cop, your bad cop, and and that's it.
Remember when school was a safe haven? You went to school and you felt safe.
Yeah. Now in the yard, we used to get beat up a little here and there.
Well, you had a fight in the schoolyard, and people took care of business. There were mostly, for the most part, there were weird incidents. No guns, no knives. You did it with your fists. Yeah. But those days regrettably, they're gone.
But you know what? I see. That's what I don't understand. My son's school doesn't have cops. Never did in all the years. My school didn't have cops. We had rowdy kids, tough kids. We never had that problem.
Different times.
And it's not different times.
No, but we never stabbed anyone. Like we used to punch, fight, kick,
But
beat up.
Don't they have security
Probably
cameras?
the movies, the violence, probably influencing us.
Oh, for sure. But society has really gone so far away from normalcy.
Well, speaking about violent movies, how about Quentin Tarantino coming to protest with Black Lives Matters?
Right.
And he's right after that poor officer that was killed, shot in the face over there, right near 2 days later, Neil, and Heshy and SD. He came out and he called cops murderers. Well, now he's got a new film coming out, and mind you, this is a guy who makes the goriest, most violent movies of anybody. He called the cops murderers. Now he's got a new film. His producers got on him, thinking it's going to hurt business. He's got a new film coming out, and he's apologizing now. Do you think there's not a big a wad of money beneath that apology? I certainly do.
Well, I believe that he had a right to say whatever you want, but yeah, that's the way we do it in America. You say you're sorry. You force the guy to say he's sorry. So you can. But you know what? I like his movies. I watched one of his movies recently. What was it called?
Right, but what he did here was a total disaster.
Right.
This was a disaster of a human being, not of anything else, but a human being.
Did you hear his words? Neil? It was despicable.
It was horrible. And the way he came, he was screaming it, like.
And this cop had just gotten shot. That it would be terrible anytime, but and this is the fringe part of the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm kind of on board with the Black Lives Matter. I know I'm going to get killed for that, but there's a certain faction of that group that are saying good things, and then there's a radical faction of that group that preach nothing but hatred. Well, he was the part that preaches nothing but hatred, and he came out and he wanted to look cool among his black brothers and sisters. Nobody told him he was white, and he came out and he wanted to look like the cool guy from Hollywood come to the rescue in New York City, but he looked like an absolute ass in the meantime.
Yeah. We're coming to the end of the first hour, Ralph, and we have a special call on the phone. We got to give him 2-3 minutes. He's your buddy as well as ours. And Esty, say hello to Norman. Hello, Norman. How are you?
Oh, hi,
Hey.
Heshy. How are you?
Hey, Norman.
Hi, Ralphie. How are you?
I'm great.
And Neil and Esty.
We're all doing great. You sound a little down.
Yeah.
No, I'm not down.
Good.
Listen, I just want to say this, and I'm getting a lot of echo in me talking to you. I'm getting reverberation. But anyway, I think that Heshy, you do need a break. And one time in your conversations too, and I'm not picking on you, Heshy. And one time you were talking about miracles, and Esty said it would be the only miracle I would really be able to see is if Heshy went for help. And I really think that you need to talk to somebody, an adult outside of the box that you live in, and you might be able to get help to handle situations in a
Yeah.
different way.
Be able to open up, be real about your feelings, all that.
Yeah, I think you know what, Heshy. I think you deceive yourself. And
Norman, you are wonderful, man. But I have a question for you, Norman. Since you know so much, I took today a little over 100 calls. I had maybe about 30 people that came into my office for advice and help. I went to a funeral of a young person that the person wanted me there so I can speak to them. I went to visit somebody in the home who lost their father on Saturday, and they wanted to talk to me, not that I should talk to them. You're asking me to go for help when you don't even know who I am. We all need help. My help is my friend.
You know what?
You're telling me I'm sick. I'm sorry. I don't see where you have no evidence of my sickness.
You're not sick. Just right now to talk things out. It's good.
You're talking about, well, I have situations to handle and this and that. Listen, I could read right through you, Heshy. If you want to be dishonest with yourself, everybody could go through periods of depression, but it seems that it gets to be repetitious. It seems that you're not having a good relationship with your sons.
What are you talking about? I love my son. I have a great relationship with my son.
Listen to what he's saying.
Yes.
He didn't say you didn't have a good relationship.
You know what? I have an estranged relationship with one of my sons. We don't talk to each other. Doesn't mean I don't love him, but it doesn't mean I have to like his ways. You
of course
understand?
not. You know why? When you hear me complain, I'm complaining on like a regular, normal father, mother, kid that you heard not one, 1,000 times, but a million times. Everybody's got the same issues. When I fight with my wife, it's not like I'm divorced. I had a fight, sweetheart. You shouldn't have bought that package.
You know what?
Oh, I don't like your meatballs and spaghetti, which my wife is making tonight. Meatballs and spaghetti again. Should I, woman, should I be depressed that I don't like her meatballs and spaghetti for 25 years? Listen to me, my friend. We all go through times of depression. Not me. I'm never depressed. Trust me. I'm always a happy man. I go through tough times, and there are certain times that you must handle.
What do you mean? Listen, you're changing the subject.
Go ahead,
I'm telling you, if you want to be somebody that wants to be able to figure out things differently, or maybe it'll be somebody that you have respect for, because evidently when I talk to you, you never listen, so that means you don't have any respect for me.
Correct.
And when your good friend Neil says things to you, Heshy, you're out of your mind. You really need help. He's not kidding. You really do need help, Hesh.
Okay.
And you're lucky you have a friend like that.
Well, I'm happy, Norman, you said this to me. It was good thinking. Norman, we're coming down to the last minute, so I got to do my quote. Thank you, Norman, for your call. You've been a wonderful.
We owe him films.
Oh, we owe him films. I got to say my quote.
Listen, you could give the films to Joseph.
Okay.
And Joseph lives right by me.
You got it, Norman.
And Heshy, listen,
Norman. I gotta let you go, Norman. But we will talk to you some more.
Neil, you could listen. Joseph has my phone number. I'd like Esty for you to.
We have to say the quote before the end of the show.
So
okay.
Thank you, Norman. Thank you very much. Here is my quote that Norman almost didn't let me say, and I'm going to thank Norman for being a loyal listener, for a good friend, for calling in all the time. Thank you so much, Norman.
And he really means
here comes
well.
my quote. Adversity is like a strong wind. It tears away from us all but the things that cannot be torn, so that we see ourselves as we really are. Yes, my friends, I'm going through sometimes adverse times. I see who I am. Know who you are. Let's do some good. We're coming down. Please stay tuned for the second and last hour of the Just Enough Heshy Show. You're back on the air with Heshy and SD and Neil, who took a little break outside for that smoke, so don't scream at him. Ralph, are you still with us, my brother?
I'm here, yes.
I want to just tell you, Ralph, Norman is a good man. I know he likes to criticize me, and everything he said is wonderful. And, I do take criticism. Maybe I do need help. I don't believe I need it. I believe when somebody really needs help, he must see it that he needs the help. I really think that I'm a pretty good judge of character. And I believe that I do not need the help. But you know what? Some of you people think I do. I call into the show and really let me hear how many people think. I don't think anybody's going to call and say anything, but I want you to know, Neil. Ralph, which I see I'm calling you Neil already. Ralph,
Yes.
I tell people my problems at home. I tell my people the problems at the business. I tell people what trials and tribulations go through because I want people, not that they need to hear my stories. I want them to know that everybody has the same deal. Everybody fights with the kids. Not that I love my kid and I'm not talking to them. I had an argument with the kid and I thought he was wrong. He thought he was right. We had to work it out. I argue with my boy like this morning. For about 15 minutes, I had an argument with him. I said he was wrong. He argued back with me. And boom, we went to work together and we had a great day today. But the point is, you must talk it out. You must know that everybody goes through these times. I fight with my mother sometimes. She calls me up saying, I'm crying for you. I'm crying for you. Where are you? Why didn't you come visit me? I said, Ma, I did come visit you, but I didn't come long enough. And then my brother calls me and says to me, why didn't you sit with mommy longer? He is 100% right. And there was no reason for me to rush out because I wanted to go outside and then buy that newspaper or maybe get an extra few minutes to get that bacon, egg, and cheese kosher, of course.
Yes.
Okay. They have it at Dunkin', the fake bacon. And I wanted, because I knew I wouldn't have time in the day and I really wanted to taste it. So what did I do? I abused my mother's time and I took it for myself. I'm just telling people that I just want you to hear that the little stories and the big stories, they take up your 8 or 10 or 15 or 16 hours of the day. So that's it now. And Norman is a good, you're going to talk to Ralph right now, Neil, but I want you to know Norman is a good man. He has his way of thinking, and that's the way it is. And I want you to know something. I do forgive. I actually forgive everybody, even though they're out to hurt me or screw me or lie. And that's not everybody. Right. That's right. That's not everybody. It's not everybody, but you're right. It does happen. And sometimes I feel that everybody got me today. And then sometimes I know that the world is just good to me. Today my friends came out of the woodwork and started helping me left and right. And Esty, just all day long, trying to be kind to me, trying to say, cheer up, Heshy. I do that.
Yeah, that's nice. Listen,
Well, I'm going to leave you two to battle it out. I'm not going to get in the middle of that. But I will say one thing: a great talk show host can bare his soul emotionally to the public, and that's what makes people love you. Or they say, or if you're plastic, they see right through you. I've always, Hesh, between you and I, you've always been great with me, and your battle with Norman is your own because you two go at it. It's part of the charm of the program. It's part of the charm of the program. It really is.
That's right. I believe that.
1 minute, Ralph. Before you go,
he's not going. He's not going anywhere.
Good. I want to hear something controversial. Okay, so medicines that cost $10,000 a week.
Right.
Okay. Are we supposed to be digging up that money from our assholes and giving it out to everyone that's sick?
I will tell you this: if someone is going to survive with that medicine, Neil, and he or she doesn't have the money to pay, I would say that good people around this country somehow can find a way for that man or woman to get that medicine that she or he needs to survive some way, somehow.
1 minute.
No, I want to just say thank you.
No, 1 minute. And you speak of number one, the quantity of people that are in such situations, and B, on how much more longevity will they have because of the medication? Those two questions.
Well, I will tell you, I don't care if she's 8 or 80. If she needs medicine to live, if an 80-year-old woman needs medicine to live another 5 years, maybe another 2 months, I'm going to get it for her. And I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. I understand where you're coming from. Here's the thing. If there's a demand for that medicine, or if good people congregate and help, that medicine, the price of the medicine could be brought down. Number one, $10,000 is absurd for a medicine that can keep anybody alive. But if you're able to, if you can get it, and you have philanthropic people around that are willing to contribute and make sure people get it, I don't think anybody should be deprived of that medicine. That's the way I.
No, I'm just trying to figure out, because I read a few articles, a few things where they say that most people end up spending a couple $100,000 the last 2-3 months of their lives when they're ill, and I'm just wondering, like, what's the real point? I mean, out of their own pocket, they're not taking it. In other words, they're not spending their own money, that's for sure. So, what is this?
Anyway,
well, let's say if you love somebody, Neil, and they're suffering at the end of their life, and you think to yourself, you say, well, this person is better off dead. I'm not so sure that you or I could be the judge of that. I think that the person going through the traumatic situation has to be the judge of whether he or she wants to go on again.
No,
or,
the doctor's
wants to
telling
to
you
go
that
on.
they got 8 weeks, 12 weeks left. That's it. It's not.
Right.
You're not going anywhere.
Right. We have to ease their pain as
Right.
best we can.
And we have
with
to
the
give them.
best medicine
I
we
want to
can.
take a few
Okay.
callers, guys. Let's take a few callers. We got a couple of people on hold, so let's take a call. Avi, how are you?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, hi. Hi, Heshy. I'm an old caller. I haven't called in a long time. It's Avi from Manhattan. And I didn't get the reason why you have to leave the air. Well, what was the reason you gave?
It's due to some personal
reasons.
family things that we have to take care of. We're going through right now, and we need to.
We're overloaded.
We're like.
Okay, so Heshy, listen, I meant to do this a long time already. Of all the people on the show, I mean, everybody's just sweet and cute and everything is funny. Heshy, I think you're a walking box of sugar. You're sweet like honey or a walking dog.
Aww.
You are, Heshy. You really are a sweet guy. And I said to myself, I watched you with Rabbi Mizrahi. My computer's lousy, but I was out west during the summer. I said, I've got to watch this show with Rabbi Mizrahi. It blew my mind what was going on over there. So I said, Heshy's the kind of guy I would love to have a time on the phone with him once a week. Their partners in Torah. They have people that learn with each other on the phone. I would love to learn with Heshy once a week. Torah is the cure for every single one of society's problems. But thank God, God gave us a Torah, and whatever problems you might be going through, I know myself, I got issues. We all do. Who doesn't got skeletons and issues? I find that the Torah does wonders. So I'm more than happy to make an offer to you on the air that anytime I give you my number off the air if you want, we can make once a week. I live in Manhattan. We don't have to meet in person. We can do it on the phone. Whatever you want to learn, I'm for free of charge. And spend 15 minutes a day, whatever it is, whatever you want, anytime, 24 hours a day. I will learn Torah with you because Torah is really a cure to so many of whatever ails us.
You know what? I like this, Avi. I want to discuss with you. Do you have my email address? I want you to email so we can communicate and set up an appointment. I'm in on this. I want to take you up on this. Email me justinoughheshy, HESHY @gmail.com, and I want to hook up with you, and we're going to do this thing. I think it's good. I like to argue on, just like you hear me argue on the radio, I argue about Torah as well.
Okay, great. Listen, terrific. So I'm looking forward to.
Thank you, Avi.
All the best. Your bracha tzlach. Hashem should give you the solutions to whatever is going on.
Thank you, Avi. Thank you. Wonderful, man. Wonderful. Let's take a call. Ralph, we're going to take another call.
Okay.
Okay. You're on the air with Heshy, Esty, and Neil. How are you?
Fine, very good, thank you. I mean, that guy Javi that just called. I mean, I don't know. I'm born Roman Catholic. I don't know nothing about the Torah or nothing. But let me tell you, I would be best friends with that guy Javi that just called up. He sounds so interesting, and I would be in a foxhole with him, and I'm sure he would save my life, and I would say that he sounds such a great guy. And I wish that everybody can cross each other, Catholics, Jewish people, everybody, come together, because I think we're living in a country of moral midgets. I don't know if you men agree with me, but I think why I listen to you guys, especially you guys, is because you guys fight that, and you're kind of like the last vestiges of guys that talk about this, and it's hard to find people with any morals anymore. And that's why I listen to you, Ralph and Heshy, and a young lady that's on your panel now.
Beautiful Esty.
Yes, and I just want find out. I had this off the box comment. What is it with all these snake oil salesmen on TV and radio that are selling these nutrients and drugs? Is this for real, or is this just for making money for the drug companies? That's just an off the box
Big,
comment.
Louis, big
Yeah.
big pharma rules the roost. I mean, you're talking about multi-billion-dollar industry, and they're not about to get shortchanged by anybody getting well. In fact, they want us all sick. The sicker we are, the more money they make. So nothing is really healing anyone. No, nothing is really curing anyone. They're just prolonging things. But if you're talking about big pharma, you're talking about the Food and Drug Administration and what they approve and what they don't approve. If it makes big bucks and if it's in demand, they'll do it. And you know what? You can't watch TV anymore without being bombarded by one commercial after the other.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
And all the things that you should be on and you need to be on and you should ask your doctor about. Louis, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
And even the radio part, it's all about these nutrients there. I wish there would be more program like you guys would be having. There's so many time slots for people like you to show the country, to show the region what you guys think about. Because every time I hear you guys, you always talk about great subjects. And I'll hang up because I know you got a lot of other callers.
Thank you.
Louis,
Thank you.
appreciate it,
You're a
man.
good man, Louis. Thank you so much. Before we take our next caller, which we're going to do, Ralph, we need ST to tell everybody for the last few times about Shlomi the Schleppers. You ever heard of that guy, Ralph?
Yeah, I heard you say it once. It sounds great.
No, but it is the real goal of Shlomo Schleppers is, there are people who don't have people in their lives to help them, whether it's a grandma or a woman living alone. She can't move her couch.
Yeah.
Who's she gonna call? She can either call a
Now's
neighbor.
winter time. They want to take the air conditioners out of the window.
Yeah, my friend hurt
close
herself trying to do that. So who would they
Yeah.
have? There's nobody. There's no professional.
Shlomo the Schlepper.
Shlomo the Schleppers, they can do it.
Wow.
Yeah, they can take out your air conditioner. They do painting, sheetrock, planting, weed removal, snow shoveling, leaf removal, handyman work, garage and basement cleanup. Either way, you can reach them at 1-877-745-3779, or visit them on their site, shlomoschleppers.com. Schleppers is with a Z, or also Facebook, Shlomo Schleppers. Besides that, we have Mr. Clean's Dry Cleaning. They do free pickup and delivery. If you mention our show, you get 25% off, which is going to expire soon.
Right.
So you can reach him at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com or call him at 347-369-3051. We have Green Line Building Solutions. They do asbestos and lead inspection, DOB, HPD, code compliance. They lift stop work orders, and they do free consultation. You can reach them at 718-871-0382. You guys are listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. Like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter, even though this is our last show, as of now, at least.
Right, but my Twitter will be always running, and so
Yeah.
will my Facebook page.
So, yeah, you can always watch our older videos, or maybe we'll put up new ones, who knows?
Right.
So, yeah, just put in Just Enough Heshy. You can email us at justenoughheshy@gmail.com, Heshy spelled Heshy, or call into the show, the last one as of now,
Right.
at 718-303-9090.
Ralph, we got to take another caller, Alpha.
Sounds good.
Okay, let's take Ruth, line 4. How are you, Ruth? Welcome to the show.
Hello. Heshy, you said today was your last show?
Yes, Ruth. Yes, for now, yes.
So who's going to be taking over your show?
Our show is not being taken over. We do not know. I think the station will find some other person to take over.
You see, when you were off for the holidays, they had Shlomo Carbuck singing,
Oh, very nice.
and I would like to get his CD, but I don't know the name of it. I don't even know where to buy it. Can you help me out at all?
You go online to Mostly Music.
Mostly music.
Yeah.
And if you live in the Brooklyn area, there's a lot of these.
I don't live in the Brooklyn
She doesn't live in
area.
Brooklyn. Anyway, get it online.
Right.
And they let you listen to it online, before you buy it. You can hear samples of it.
Mostlymusic.com.
I believe so, yes.
I'm so sorry you're going to be off the air.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll have an
It's a good
opportunity to
thing.
meet on another
I
occasion.
hope you enjoyed our shows while we were on the air.
It's a good thing I put it on today because I would be looking for you.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our previous shows that you did listen to.
I hope you come back on the air again.
Thank you, Ruth. That was very nice
What
of
am
you.
I going to do without you on the Monday and Tuesday?
You are a wonderful girl. I like you, Ruth. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Ralph, say good night to Ruth.
Bye, Ruthie. Good to hear you.
You know, Heshy, I'm like the other man that wants to talk to you every week. But you're not going to do that.
Well, you're going to make a business out of it.
Ruth, thank you so much, Ruth. Have a good night.
Good night.
Let's, Ralph, we got to take another caller, Ralph.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to take line one. ST, go ahead. Introduce him.
Hey, Shlomo.
This is Shlomo, not the Shlomo.
Very good. How are you tonight?
Good. Listen, Heshy, I'm so sorry that you're leaving the air, but I got to tell you something. You were the only reason I turned on this program.
You're wonderful. Thank you. Now you're making me feel very good. I hope my son is listening to this.
And whatever your issue is, I wish you stock and a refuah shlema for whatever's going on in your life and hatzlacha and continued strength.
Thank you so much, Lemmy. Thank you. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful man.
I want to make a suggestion that Esty could take over the show by herself. She's so interesting when she talks.
We are in discussions with the station to make a Just Enough Esty and Neil show.
Oh.
So I was mention Esty and the other gentleman who's not on tonight. Those two go at it each other. And
Z. He's talking about Z. Yeah.
I think that would be a very interesting show.
I don't know. The things I talk about, you guys will think I'm nuts. Now Heshy.
We think you're nuts anyways.
That's true.
Shlomi, thank you for your call. Thank you.
Good luck to you, Heshy.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a good night. Ralph, I like the people, Ralph.
Line 3?
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. We got line 3. We got to take. Oh no, we're going to take Mitch because I think we hung up on him. Or Naftali, he'll pick up. We're going to take. The producer going to
choose a button. Any button.
I'm going to push the button. I don't know. Hello.
Oh, you can't take one.
I can't take one. Mitch, I lost Mitch. Oh. Can you? Push?
Hello, Dave. What's up?
Hi, Esty. Hi, Heshy. Ralph, my buddy. How are you?
Oh, your voice. I forgot about that.
What's happening?
Oh, doing great. I understand that this is your last show for a while, Heshy, and I just want you to know that I'm glad that my buddy Ralph called me this afternoon. He told me that you were going to be on, and I decided I would tune in and give you a call.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. And you know what? I did want to ask you a question. You discussed many times in the past about the Muslims and the blacks and the different hatreds and stupidities that are going on in the planet over here. And I was reading today again of 3 more stabbings. I know you're not going to be able to give me an answer on why these people do it, and they must do it for a reason. I really can't understand. I know everybody's telling me they're hatred and they're bad people, they're good people. I don't understand how anybody on this planet could kill another person over religion, over land, over anything. It just doesn't make sense. It's like you're telling me 2 + 2 = 7. I know the guy's telling me I'm sometimes too sweet or don't understand. I don't. I really don't understand this thing, and it hurts me. People say to me, oh, Heshy, Israel, they're crazy, they're stabbing, let's punish all that. I don't believe that. It just doesn't make sense what's going on. Somebody's got to explain it to me.
Yeah, so it's a very good question, Heshy. The answer is simple, and I can boldly stand up and say this as a Muslim who's been practicing this wonderful religion for 5 years already. We have some perverts, and that's the word, religious perverts in that part of the world, who are distorting, perverting, bastardizing our religion and turning it into this monstrosity to perpetrate acts of evil in the world.
Dave, we know that. And how do we stop it?
The way we stop it is, aside from catching them and prosecuting them to the full extent of the law, and maybe even killing them, as harsh as it sounds, because you've taken another human life for no reason at all. We have got to continue to get the word out through the media, through the internet, radio, TV, in the mosque. We've got to continue to get the message out that these savages, these creeps do not represent us. That there is no justification, whether it's in the Quran, whether it's in the Hadith, that's the writings of the Prophet Muhammad, or the Sunnah, which is our version of your halacha, that there is nothing in any of these writings that justifies what they are doing. They have their own agenda. They're filled with hate. And as you said, you correctly said, the worst thing you could do is use God and religion to preach hate.
Yeah.
Dave, let me ask you a question, Dave, if I can. Why is it that you are the lone wolf in the wilderness crying, and for your brothers and sisters in your faith to speak out? Are they intimidated? I'm talking about the righteous Muslims. Are they intimidated? Do they not want to speak out for fear of some sort of repercussion? What's the reason why you and maybe a handful of others are the only ones speaking out against the tyrants in your faith? Why?
Well, the main reason is that, and you just put your finger on it. There is an intellectual reign of terror, and not so much here in this country, but in the so-called Muslim world. We see what happened over a decade ago to Salman Rushdie.
Yeah.
And because he wrote a book that was satirical, and the extremist mafia, because that's exactly what they are. They decided that they are the spokesman for the Muslim community. In this country, the problem is that there are many, many more people like myself and the imam at my mosque and another gentleman you may have heard of by the name of Dr. M. Zudi Jazzer, who heads an organization called the Forum for Islamic Democracy, and and there's also some fear from some in the community not to speak out against their so-called brothers because they will be ostracized, and not even in the community at large, but even in some families.
No.
Can you make like a thing? What was it?
Dave, I want to thank you for your call. We have a whole bunch of calls that are lit up here. Thank you, Dave, for your thing, and thank you for our last show for calling in. You're a wonderful man.
Thanks, Dave.
No problem. Esther, you wanted to ask me a question?
No, just like I feel like instead of Black Lives Matter, they should have Arab people for lives or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Muslim people for life. Start your own organization.
Esty makes a great point. We have Dave. We must have more Muslims speaking out, because you know what? A lot of these mosques are so radical. They're the hotbed of violence throughout the country. And I'm sure Dave is the most peaceful man on the planet, but unfortunately, a lot of his radical brothers and sisters that Dave has no association with aren't the same, Esty. You're right about that.
Ralph, we got to take another caller. We have a lot of people calling in, and the phones are ringing. So let's take line 4. Naftali, how are you?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm doing all right. I'm very sad to hear that you're taking time up, but I know that you made a heartfelt kind of a decision. And I like the last guy who called, because you don't hear too many people from his point of view who are Muslims in this America. I might be your number one Black American caller, and notice I didn't say African American because I never was there. I was born.
I'm proud of you.
City. Yeah, okay. And my parents are from the Carolinas. What I want to impart to you real quick here, Heshy, is that I was in video for almost 40 years, and I hope to get back into it before I leave the planet. And I know how sometimes you get bored with your show, and sometimes you think that your personal problems supersede your creativity. But I will predict, and I hope I'm right, that you will miss the show very soon, and we will hear you back on the air. And I want to ask who's going to be your co-host in the interim. Is it going to be the lovely Heshy, SD, or is it? I mean, do you need a co-host? I'll fill in for you.
I think Naftali, I want you to email me. We're gonna stay in touch because I think I'm gonna need you on my show because I want to be more, and especially I want my number one black fan on the show. Even though I believe I have a lot of good friends, and it doesn't make a difference who's on my show because I love everybody. And thank you, Naftali, for the call.
No problem. All of you guys, good health and stay in touch and keep and take good care.
Thank you so much, Mitch. What's doing, Mitch? How are you?
Oh boy, I tell you, when I was listening in and had heard that this was your last show for a while, my first thing to you is that whatever situation or problem that you're going through privately, I'll be praying for you, and I hope that it's something that you'll be able to take care of, and you and your family should only have.
I got so much prayer going for you. I feel like whatever it is going to be solved like that.
Thank you, Mitch. You are a good man, Mitch. You are always a good caller, and you're a good man. And I thank you for your prayer.
I have to tell you, one of the things I'm going to miss is even though I'm going to miss Mia and the whole gang, I'm always going to miss SD's weekly situations, especially her social dating things. I don't miss that. SD can you create maybe a Twitter for yourself where you can sort of follow up on what's going on with you?
Yeah, Twitter. I made I think 5 different accounts. I don't really know how to use it.
It took me 5
minutes. And again, as I said to you,
but Mitch, you can follow SD on Facebook.
That's true.
I was saying to SD just a few weeks ago that as you watch these older shows again, you see how much she's grown and how much she's improved. And I just hope in her future that I'm definitely going to see a lot of success in radio, and you're gonna do great, my dear.
Amen.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you. You have a good night, and thank you for your
call. I love you guys.
Take care, Mitch.
Ralph, we got to take another call. One more because he's been waiting for a while. Let's take a call. You're on the air with Heshy, SD, and my beautiful, great, and delicious Neil, my voice of reason.
Hello, Billy.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
I love the name.
What's happening?
Listen, how's it going, Ralph? Listen.
Good.
Tell your son, Heshy, that if God forbid, he ever has an argument with you, because it happened to me Christmas Eve. My father died in his sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning, right after me and him had an argument. And I'm telling you, Heshy, your son is going to feel like an inch off the ground if anything ever happens to you because you had an argument with him. And he is never going to live it down, just like I am right now. It happened almost 25, 30 years ago, 1971. And I mean, I still cry every day and have dreams and cry and regret everything bad that I ever did to my father. And I did a lot of stupid things because I was a dumb idiot.
He forgives you. If he would see you now, he would be proud. He would be like, oh, thank God, my son's normal.
Hey, he comes to me in my dreams and tells me, I loved you all those years. Why did you do that? You and me are always going to be friends. When you died. You can't believe the dreams that I have about my father. And I cry and regret every bad thing I ever did.
You might need therapy.
No, stop it.
Billy.
No, to get out all the regret. And, I don't think you should have, constant dreams. And,
what I need
you're good. You're forgiven. No more guilt.
Yeah, just to tell Heshy to let his son know that he's doing the wrong thing, fighting you against the words of his father.
Thank
the father should be the boss, not
Thank
the
you,
son.
Billy. Thank you for your call. You're a good
And
man.
you sound like a
good man, Bill.
You're the Jackie Mason of radio.
All right. Oh, now I love Jackie. Jackie was my client many years ago. You're a good man. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
But Ralph, Billy's right. By the way, when I do have an argument with my boys, even though I believe I'm right or they're wrong. I like last night after I dropped off Esty, I got him like 11 o'clock. I knocked on my little son's door, and I came into the room and I woke him up and I gave him a hug and a kiss. My big boy that I had a little bit of an argument with, he passed by. I just said, "Hey boy, how are you?" And he said, "Fine, Pop." It's like I want to make sure that they understand. Sure, we're disagreement. Sure, we're a little arguing with each other. They know that at every single time that my door is open, their door is open. I'm angry at them. I'm never really angry at my boys. I'm disappointed at myself for not being able to be sometimes synced. But I be honest with you, I love them, and I know they love me in the heart. But you're right. I get upset why they don't agree with me, why they don't listen, why they think so badly sometimes of me that I'm wrong, I'm the bad one. Because I know the older generation, and that's the way me and Neil used to think about our parents. And I don't want my kids ever to think of me like I thought of my parents. And it bothers me, Ralph. You know, it does.
Well, it's a beautiful thing, and you have to live in the moment with those kids. And I know you're a good father, Hedge.
Thank you, my boy. Thank you. And that's what it is. And even when I argue with somebody, sometimes we get into an argument, we lose our tempers, we have a fight, we go home and think, and we should say we're sorry. Billy was right. Tomorrow morning we're gone and we're going to regret it. We're going to eat ourselves up, and then we're going to need the therapy. No.
Well, Billy, Hedge, Billy called my program the night, the day after those 7 children died in the fire. In Brooklyn there. Remember that?
Yeah. What was the name of that? Sassoon, the Sassoon children. Yes.
Yeah, he called in tears. The guy is just a real sincere, emotional guy, and is a fabulous human being. I've talked to him several times. A great guy, and what he says is so true, and he means it from the heart. He really does.
Yeah. Well, that is very interesting, and we're going to take one more caller, and then we're going to have a little fight with you a little bit, if you don't mind, Ralph.
Sounds good. I like
okay.
a fight.
Patty. Oh, Patty's calling again. We got to take Patty. Patty, hello, you're back, Patty.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I had to get one thing in here.
Go ahead.
You guys were talking about, no, I love you, and I'm sorry you're going, and you know all that and everything, but we still have other things to talk about. I wanted you to know that a dear friend of mine had to get a way to get to a medicine, and it cost $30,000 a pill. $30,000 a pill. And he was on pins and needles. His insurance company did take it up. But the thing is, why? Why should a pill?
It's because one person has a monopoly on it, Patty, and he can charge anything he wants.
Because he did the research on it. He spent 12 years doing the research.
But when you agree there's something wrong with that picture...
I agree there's something wrong, but also he has to be compensated that it took him 12, 15 years to come up with it. A crew of 20 people.
Every day?
No, but this is the facts. They spent hundreds of millions sometimes.
This kid, this friend of mine, my baby, he just took $90,000 of pills in 3 days.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
But he needs this every day for the rest of his life?
No, thank God it's a 3-month treatment, and yet we don't even know if it's going to work.
According to Neil, since we don't know it's not going to work, let's not give it to him. Right, Neil?
I don't say that. I'm talking about to anyone. How could you go around the world just like we don't? You know how long it took for us to get the water clean in certain African countries and stuff that they cost a quarter, 20 cents for the vaccines.
What about the grid?
They never come up with the money for them.
What about the grid for the electricity? If we get hit by a flare, what's going to happen to our electrical grid?
Yeah, we're going to be in very big trouble
right now.
Big trouble. Big trouble.
Well,
everybody knows that our computers are vulnerable. Everyone knows
they know how to fix it, right?
And they don't know what to do about it. I'm sure.
Yes, they do. They know how to fix it.
Oh, yeah.
Who's they? Who exactly is they? Who's they?
The government and the people who are in that zone. They know what to do.
Patty, with that pill, and Neil makes a great point. This guy discovered it at hundreds and thousands of dollars a cost. Right. I understand that, but for a guy who needs a 3-month therapy of a $30,000, It's so ridiculous that there's a, Neil, I understand where you're coming from, but shouldn't that price be, I know it's going to be high, but not astronomical.
Ralph,
shouldn't it be reasonable?
I'm asking you about Africa. What Bill Gates Foundation did.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
It took them 20 years,
Patty,
20 years for them to get their program together to eradicate certain diseases in Africa with vaccines that cost them a quarter, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Why?
And yet they couldn't put the bucks together to do it. Okay, so you can imagine now if you would have 25 million people that need a vaccine or they need a medicine that costs literally tens of thousands of dollars a year or a month or whatever the number is to do. I mean, where's that coming from?
Yeah,
really, where is it coming from?
If you take away the monopoly of making that medicine, other companies will make that medicine, and thus the cost will go down.
No, but you'll never get someone to start making the medicine if they know they can't recoup what it takes.
Right, but if it's just monopolized by one person, then that person can charge anything they want to charge, and including $30,000.
No, but someone has to pay them for their research and development.
Yeah, why would anybody come up with a vaccine that's desperately needed if they're not going to get compensated? Medication would stop being created.
Right. So now I'm saying if the government can come up with a way that they can get their money back for their research and development and add a little profit on it, and now everybody has a right to copy and use and this and that, so that might be an avenue to think about. But to say that everyone should get it no matter what because life is valuable, that's not a good enough argument.
Especially since there's people in Africa who don't have basic food that they can die from. Like, why are people in America worth more? Why are their lives worth more than people in Africa? Because to save a person in America who's, let's say, I don't know, 80 or older for like a $30,000 medication versus Africa where there are 5-year-old children who just need food, which costs way less. Why on earth would they pay for that when they haven't first paid for younger people who are starving and it will cost them so much less?
And Ralph, and I want to get a step further. Like you guys are all complaining and bitching about the medicines or starving people. We say that we don't have enough food or we can't give them enough food. And a lot of people in Africa, if you notice, Ralph, are dying because of why? Water. Their water is not clean. Or they don't have fluoridian or fluoride or clean water.
Their water's filthy.
But it's not only filthy, they don't have enough of it. Correct?
Well, the irrigation system there is third world. I mean, you're not getting clean water, right?
But you're not getting clean water, or there's not enough of it.
No, it's all a sewer.
It's all a sewer, but also there's not enough water coming down from the sky to give it to them.
That's because they don't have what's it called, desalinization.
So right now, Ralph, I just want to tell you, the largest seawater, which we have a lot of seawater all over this world. And what is it? 90% of the planet is occupied by water.
Something like that.
The largest seawater desalination, whatever you said there, Neil, plant in the Americas opens this year in Carlsbad, a suburb of 100,000 people north of San Diego. And this company, Poseidon Resources, will supply about 8% of the San Diego's region water under 30-year contract with San Diego County Water Authority. So if you're telling me that the world does not have enough water because we can't drink it, we can't clean it, we're just showing you that a little guy can drink or give enough water to 8% of San Diego, and that's a lot of people. I don't understand us. Now you're going to tell me, Neil, well, the guy needs to make money, or the government needs to make money. They have to recoup their losses. So we're not going to give the people who are dying in Africa or the Middle Eastern countries.
George Bush was the first president to actually pump money into Africa.
Yeah, but
he actually pumped money in. It was one of his favorite projects. It was his pet peeve. I forget what he was fighting then at the time, what disease. But he put in his heart and soul to eradicate that particular disease. And he was successful.
Okay.
And now the Bill Gates Foundation and stuff, They're doing their stuff. And again, they're going to be successful. They are having success because you're taking the brightest minds in the world and you're putting them, to work on these big problems that they have to, every penny counts. And they have to have distribution, refrigeration.
Right.
These medicines have to be refrigerated and stuff like that.
I have a question.
They have a lot of problems with that.
Are there any rich liberals?
Yeah, most of them are. Yeah.
What?
Most of them are.
They are. All the rich people are liberals.
Yeah.
So why aren't they giving away all their money? Since liberals believe that they should be giving their money away to
because
everyone.
liberals believe that I should give away my money, not they should give away their money.
I see.
Well, forget labels, but if there's a profit behind it, Neil, if you create some sort of profit behind it, all of this stuff that needs to be done, whether it be charitable or not, will get done if someone can go in there and make a profit.
That's right.
Or establish something that no one else has established.
That's right.
And start to monopolize.
That's right. There's no will. The will is not there because the profit is not there.
You're right.
Until you create an environment where there is profit and they could keep it and they could enjoy it, there will be people coming out of the woodworks making stuff up, and they probably have it already on the shelves.
There's a vast deprivation of vitamin A in those countries,
right?
And they have a thing called golden rice. I don't know if you heard of it, but there's some people that are so against GMOs, genetically modified type foods, that they won't allow these people who are going blind, literally going blind from lack of vitamin A in their diet. They won't allow them or to take part in making this golden rice. That's rice that they have from their country, laced with vitamin A, so they can regain their eyesight, prevent blindness. They won't allow it because the people that are into the green movement won't allow it because it's a GMO. It's a genetically modified food. So here's the situation where you can save millions of people, and they won't allow it. So there's the stupidity that we have to stamp out first.
Right,
I got you.
Right, and there should be a group of people like Bill Gates and his foundations that should work on that. That's what they should be doing. Enough of the crap. Let people live and let's straighten out the world a little bit.
Yeah,
you got it.
By the way, I just wanted to mention, because I know we're going to go off the air soon and then I can't mention it. There are two things that I think are very important that everybody should know. From Ronald Reagan, the words trust but verify. The more I go on in life, the more I see those are very important words. You must verify things. You cannot trust people no matter what. They give you references, this, that.
Right.
You got to verify stuff.
You're right. And I don't do that.
And the second thing is, nonprofits are the biggest profit makers in America.
SD saying.
And you know that.
SD saying.
What's the best profit?
Nonprofit.
Nonprofit. Just remember that. And politicians are all whores.
Oh, gosh.
I just want to mention, you guys, you're listening to the Just Enough Heshy Show. If you still want to call in, you have 15 minutes. You can reach us at 718-303-9090. I'm going to mention Shlomo Schleppers one more time.
Go ahead.
Just because we like them a lot. So, yes, if you need someone to do your schlepping, if you need someone to do painting, sheetrock, insulation, anything, moving couches, snow shoveling, you can call them at 1-877-745-3779 or like them on Facebook, Shlomo Schleppers. Visit their website, shlomoschleppers.com with a Z. And we have Mr. Clean's Dry Cleaning. They do free pickup and delivery. If you mention the Just Enough Heshy Show last time, you get 25% off. You can reach him at mrcleandelivers@gmail.com or call him at 347-369-3051.
That's wonderful. Ralph, I want to tell you something, Ralph, and I have a new story for us to discuss, but we're going to take another couple of callers right now, and this is for you and Neil. I think I'm included in this thing. The U.S. death rate has been falling for decades. You know that, right? But researchers have detected one group in which the rates have been steadily ticking up. Are you ready, Neil?
Mm-hmm.
Middle-aged white people. Ralph, I know you're not middle-aged. I know you're young, some young.
I'm past middle age.
Suicide and deaths.
People don't live to be 120.
Right. Suicide and deaths from drug overdoses and alcohol abuse are being blamed. Deaths rates for other races have continued to fall as they for whites 65 and older. That means if you're over 65, but death rates for whites 35 to 44 have been level recently, and they're beginning to turn up for the whites from 55 to 64. Neil, you and me are getting into that group range. Most strikingly, death rates for white ages 45 to 54 have risen by 0.5% per year since 1998. And this is a published report. Do you believe this, Neil? I mean, according to Norman, since I need medical attention or something.
What are they saying? That middle-aged white men are alcoholics or drug addicts?
And suicides, and they are dying.
Because life gets to them.
Really?
They're the ones that get the middle class gets squeezed the most.
And they can't even
Who's
claim
the middle class?
The middle-aged?
Is when you become middle-aged, you're white, right?
You can't claim like, oh, racism because you're not black.
That's it. You're stuck.
So a black.
You have no
Number one,
programs for yourself.
They're making it to that age, number one, because white men live longer than black men. I think Asian men live the longest. But in here, it's
But I heard they're the smallest.
It's got to be they get shorter, but they live longer. But and white men shrink too, in more ways than one. But I think you have. I think what you have is obesity behind that whole thing. The smoking has ceased. You know, not many. There's less people smoking every day. But obesity and diabetes is behind the whole thing. And remember this: when you allow people to live longer, eradicating all these diseases, you're also going to get a death rate that's higher because they're actually alive to die within that age range because you kept them alive that long, where those people may be dead well before that. So that may play a part too. I don't know.
Very interesting. Let's take another caller, ST.
Wait, can I just say just a quote? Tell me if you think this is true. A life spent making mistakes is so much better than a life spent doing nothing.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Wow.
Is it?
I'm you know what?
It's true.
The whole year, I think this is the second one. I agree with you.
No, thank
and
you.
It's
wonderful. From the movie The Decoy Bride.
I got one at the end of the show that's going to blow you away because I've been saving for a while.
Okay,
so yeah, there you go. Let's take another caller. Hello, you're on the air with Heshy, ST, and Neil, and my buddy Ralph.
Hey, when I was on before, I forgot. I tuned it 7 minutes late, but I forgot what you said about something. You said that's my story. Was it about the argument?
Do you remember Ralph in the old days, the TV commercial where the guy would say that's the story?
No, we're just.
Cookie crumbles.
I told an interesting story about a young man going through a tough time, and.
But to like re-say the story is like, yeah.
Yeah, I know it is, but okay, don't. I emailed you with that question. Maybe you'll answer me that way. If not, okay, no problem. The only other thing is, I have no idea what ST looked like, but if she wants to date with a good-looking and wealthy and healthy man, I'm the guy.
Really? That's what I've been looking for this whole time.
You sound like you're about 60 years old, though, are you?
Well, no, I'm.
Come on now.
Experience. I'm well.
What's the age bracket here? What are we dealing with? What's the age bracket?
35 to 50.
Oh, okay. Okay. What do you think, guys?
Yeah.
I don't know. If he can help my fake city like be built, we can talk.
I don't have. I could do that. I don't have Facebook, email. I could start that way. I'm educated. Honest.
Are you Jewish?
Whatever. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pure.
No problem. Thank you so much, caller, for your call. I appreciate it.
I wish. Okay, because she sounds really great.
That's really nice. She doesn't even care how I look. Wow.
Well, she's a beautiful girl.
Basically, they
also.
just trust you.
She's right. Well, you should look at the
Trust but verify.
Yeah, you should trust.
Doesn't have to be serious. It could be nice.
This man is serious.
But you don't even have Facebook. How am I supposed to contact you? Who still uses a phone?
I could give my email to. I just emailed Heshy. So Just enough Heshy at Gmail. Then I'll I
Who
put
still
my
uses
phone number in.
email except for
You
like
just
verifying?
send me that email and I'll forward it to Esty. Thank you, caller, for
Yeah,
your call.
yeah. All right, you got it. All
You
right.
got it. By the way, Esty, by the way, last night, Ralph, Esty went to, people were making fun of me. How do you go to a Jewish trick or treat? Everybody told me there's no such thing as a Jewish or.
It was called Halloween. It's okay because non-Jews can't pronounce the ch, so you know it's Jewish.
Wow.
It basically like like a rabbi certificate, because it said Halloween, it made it kosher just with the ch in there.
By the way, I want to tell you, Ralph, you were very interesting how people are living older, and you reminded me of a cute story. There was a guy, a rabbi, not a rabbi, but a guy called Yaakov Miller. He lives in our neighborhood. You know him, Neil, a holy man, and he was invited many.
He's holy, I don't know.
Okay, he was invited to an old man's party, and the man was 120 years old. This is the way they told me the story. Whether it's true or not, he was told he came to this old man's place, and us Jewish people, when we want to give somebody a blessing, we wish them that they should live till 120 years old. So this Yaakov, the whole man, comes over to the old man and says, I'm supposed to wish you to live till 120 years old, but you're 120 today. I don't know what to wish you. So he tells him, I just wish you to have a great day today.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, because, most likely that was his last one, but that's interesting.
It's a good one.
Ralph, before we go off the air, and I do want to say one more thing, and I want to talk about some local politics. And Neil, I want you to weigh in on this. I was reading today's paper, Skelos cooked, that's what it says, Silver case, just typical home cooking Jewish. They're saying that Silver has no chance, and it was also, I think, in yesterday's paper, that that Silver is dead meat. That I think it started today. Assembly Speaker's case started today, and they're saying that there's no possible way that Silver's ever going to get away with this. What is your opinion? Is that true? Do you think he's dead?
Yeah, he's dead in the water. He's been robbing you folks blind for a long time. But what he did? He got brazen and he started to do it out in the open. See, when you know what happens when you don't get caught for a while or you don't get taken to task for it, you think you're getting away with it, and you get more brazen and more brazen. Well, he got a little too big for his britches, and they took him down. And now the public outcry is to get him. So there's no way that he's going to get off without a good physical.
Ralph, also, the man stepped on just one too many toes.
Exactly right, Neil. You're on the
one too many, and I think people were really fed up with his ultimate power that he had.
No doubt about it. You're
Tremendous
absolutely right.
power with appointing judges and the laws and all that. I mean, it was him. Who was the other two?
Bruno, and you're right.
One other guy, and the governor, I believe. Those are the three main positions in the state assembly that take care of laws.
Well, Cuomo has surprisingly fixed his image. He was really under the radar before. I mean, he was really down the doldrums, but now he's kind of risen. And De Blasio's still taking a hit. He's not very popular.
I
think 47.
And he doesn't deserve to be popular.
I like him.
I don't like him.
I think he's a lazy bum.
Yeah, why do you like everyone we hate?
I think he's like Obama. He's just...
I had him. I interviewed him for 15, 20 minutes, and he was the most gracious man one of the gracious I've ever talked to.
Yes.
But, on a grand scale, see, with him, he's very idealistic, and he wants what he wants. It's hard for him to listen to the other side, but he's going more to the middle. Whether it's because of political pressure, I'm not so sure. But he's not the radical that he was when he first took office. I'll say that.
I think publicly not, but behind closed doors.
Yeah, he's going to feel the way he always feels. But I think politically, he's
and I really don't like him. I think he's like Obama. These are the type of people that believe you don't have to do a great job as long as you try hard. That's good enough.
But Neil, I'm saying that he has good intentions, and he actually.
I know. My ex-wife had great intentions. I swear. I swear to you.
The road to hell.
That's where it ended up.
You know what? I'll tell you something. Everybody says that I was speaking to that De Blasio should have endorsed what was it called, Sanders, just to piss off Hillary. Okay,
No, but he wants to get somewhere.
He wants to get
He
somewhere.
owns-
But
he
the
owns
point,
Hillary,
is,
though.
but he doesn't know Hillary because he was Hillary's chief of staff, got her elected the first time. Since he was very, the way I was reading it a long time ago, he was very non-committal. Like he wouldn't pick a side. He would always wait to the last minute.
He has a problem, making a split second
That's right.
decision.
So Hillary, after she got elected, she dumped him, and he got very depressed. And he ran for different offices, and he won, and he fought his way back up, and he became mayor. Why would he even want to vote for Hillary? Don't we see that he's a hypocrite right now? That he's using Hillary to get to the next, and she screwed him once before. What will stop her from screwing him again?
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he truly wants and prefers Hillary. And also for this, everyone wants to back a winner. Heshy. There's no way. Although this is one of Norman's guys, Sanders. And I like the guy. There's no way in hell I'll be president before Sanders will be president. Hillary's going to win. So everyone wants to be on the winner's bandwagon.
Right.
True.
Right. And a lot of people don't understand that in America, we're already at the point where we're this like the Titanic, but even bigger. We can't just make changes, like whoop-de-doo, Sanders is going to walk in or Trump is going to walk in, and in 30 days, all of a sudden, revamp the whole system. That will never
Sanders
happen.
Sanders is a Ralph Nader type. And, I'll tell you, another guy who's probably well-intentioned as can be, but it's just not, first of all, the money's not there. The coffers of Hillary are immense. I mean, the woman's got more money than God.
$2 billion.
There's no way. There's no way she's going to be beaten. And did you see the debate? It was a coronation of Hillary during that debate. And he even acquiesced to Hillary by saying, "We heard enough of that email."
Right.
Damn email.
Right. That's when you knew that he's just a scam. The whole thing.
If I can say something before we sign off, if anybody wants to get in touch with me and talk about anything in the world, because I like to hear from everybody that's listening, you can call me or text me directly at 646-492-2436, 646-492-2436.
Or if you want to reach Ralph, you email me at justenoughheshy, Heshy, @gmail.com, and I will forward it to Ralph, and I will give him the message, or I will make sure that he somehow finds a way to get in touch with you. Ralph, you've been a wonderful friend over the last year. An inspiration, and you know me and you're going to stay good friends. And if my son gets married, when he gets married, I'm not saying if, you're going to be there, Ralph, my Christian friend, and no, you don't have to wear a yarmulke. Don't worry about it.
I would gladly wear a yarmulke.
That's pretty odd, actually.
You guys have been so special. You guys have been so special to me. I really, all this, really, I've had such a wonderful time talking to you. And I know this isn't going to be the last time we're all going to be on the air together. And one thing before I go, Esty was that voice of Esty was the reason why I stopped at the dial and stayed with your show, because she was talking. I said, that's a very sweet voice. I have to listen further. So
thank you, Ralph. We love you, Ralph. And
Take care.
You got it.
Okay,
Bye, Ralph.
good night.
Everybody, we're down to the last minute and a half of the show, and I want to talk to my friend. Instead of you guys, the audience, I want to talk to my friend Neil and my delicious friend Esty. We're going to be in friends. Me and Neil are going to hang out, and Esty, you're going to come over for dinner many times. We live around.
But when am I going to see Neil?
Don't worry about it. I'll get Neil to come to that. No, he never comes to my house. Yeah, you never like going anywhere.
I have an apartment. Come on over.
Okay, make us dinner.
Oh, actually, my sister wants to come over because I told her you give out candy for trick or treat.
I still have leftover.
She's like, I want to go trick or treat.
I'm like Musketeers and an M&M bar.
Well,
M&M.
Neil, I just want you to know is I looked forward every Monday and Tuesday to picking up Esty and always begging you to be on time. Z, you are a wonderful co-host when you're with us.
Thank you,
Z. You're a good man, and all our guests from Rabbi Mizrahi to all of the other guests.
Rabbi Jill Hausman. Yeah, she was great.
And the Cantus, and this Cantus Susan Bernstein, wonderful girl.
Right, wonderful.
We love all of you. So I'm going to say goodnight. I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to sign off the air, and I'm going to give you my quote. And I hope you really like this. Here it is. The things that make life living can't be thought of in your brain, but must be felt in your heart. And this is what this quote I'm saying for myself that I'm going to say right now. And this is the best quote of the year. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. Thank you, everybody, for the last year. It was a wonderful time. I appreciated you. I hope I join you again in the future. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Good
Take
luck.
care.
And have a good
Bye.
life. And do good. Take care of your babies.